A couple of years ago, when I was a high school student, I remember walking into my class to see something that changed my perspectives of life and will hopefully change yours too at the end of this talk. So join me, Jessica J. Kumar, as I take you on a journey a few years into the past where it all began. One fateful Monday morning, I remember walking into my classroom to see something that shocked me. I saw the most outgoing person in my class crying. I remember walking up to him, tapping on his bench, and I asked him, "Dude, why are you so sad? You are the one that makes everyone happy. Why are you crying?" And I remember this very clearly. He looked me dead in the eye and he said, "Jessica, you might think I'm happy on the outside, but on the inside I'm crying." So that set me on. I started wondering, what was that facade he was putting out about being happy? And I started seeing that pattern in various other people too, including myself. And I realized that it was a complex, the inferiority complex, and his happy-go-lucky attitude was just him trying to cover it all up. So let me break it down for you. For that, we need to go back to the 1900s. Professor Alfred Adler did a research on Napoleon Bonaparte. He wanted to know what made Napoleon Napoleon. And so he wanted to study Napoleon's behavioral pattern to identify if Napoleon had a complex. Now, Napoleon was a very short man, probably shorter than me, but he tried to compensate for his height with aggressiveness because he felt that no one would respect him in his military if he was short. So if he was aggressive, he felt they would give him the respect he felt he deserved. The most important conqueror in the history of the world, Napoleon Bonaparte, had a complex, the inferiority complex. But this inferiority complex is not all bad because for some people, it helps them do better in life, but for others, it takes them down the wrong path. So the interesting thing here is most of us never realize we have the inferiority complex until it's too late. I'm going to list down a few symptoms of people with an inferiority complex, what they would face, and we are going to assess ourselves. So number one, ultra-sensitivity. People with the inferiority complex are ultra-sensitive. Every small thing, any Tom, Dick, Harry, Mother Goose might say, it hurts them deeply. It takes them to the point where they start second-guessing all of their life choices, their decisions, and they're afraid to make plans. All because they're afraid of what people around them might say. Number two, they crave attention. People with this complex are attention seekers, predominantly because anything they do, whether it's okay or not so great, they will expect people around them to actually appreciate them. And when they don't get the consideration they feel they need, they will begin hating that person to the point where hate creeps in, jealousy creeps in, and they secretly start praying for their downfall. Number three, they compare themselves with everyone else around them. Society has a set of standards, and they feel that they have to find a way to conform to those standards. And when they're not able to do that, they lose their sense of self-worth, self-esteem, self-confidence. It makes them feel useless to the point where it starts taking a toll on their mindset. Number four, they begin to become submissive. Submissiveness is something that comes up because of all of these other symptoms. They start hiding away. They like to be a part of the crowd than standing out, and they're really afraid to start showing off their inborn talents to the world. Finally, it's the facade. The facade is the most interesting one because it's the pretense, the mask they put up, the shell behind which they stand because they're afraid to show the world who they really are. Instead of confronting their demons and destroying them, they just lock their demons away. And because of this, it leads to that famous word depression. We see that everywhere on Instagram. Hashtag depressed, hashtag I'm upset. But depression isn't something to be taken care of lightly because depression can lead to unnatural deaths. And many people with this complex, when they go to the other extreme, sometimes suicide happens. If any of you, under the sound of my voice today, had a small pricking feeling right here in your heart when you heard about these complexes, then you, my friend, you have an inferiority complex. But I'm not here today to talk to you about the complex, the symptoms. We are here today to confront our demons and destroy them. And I find it a great privilege to share with you today what I shared with my friend a few years ago and what helped me turn my life around too. You see, the inferiority complex is not something that happens to us when we are born. It's something that develops through age because of the way we talk to people around us, because of the way they talk to us, the way society treats us. We absorb this negativity, this feeling of inferiority from our atmosphere, and it all gets into our head. But if we were the ones who absorbed all of this negativity, don't you think it's possible to reprogram ourselves to start believing that we are a force in the universe to be reckoned with? It all starts when you start stepping outside of your comfort zone. We all have that little box we've built around ourselves, that little circle of friends we always hang around with, those few opportunities we seek, those few challenges that we're so used to doing. We're always afraid to step outside of the comfort zone because it's a whole new world out there, and we're afraid on whether we'll be able to take on the challenges it gives. I am naturally a very shy and reserved person, but I made it a point to talk to 2 or 3 new people every day just so that I could boost my self-confidence. And this is the advice I'd give to people who are shy. Talk to 2 or 3 new people every day. If you're afraid to take on different opportunities or challenges, make sure you do something different every day. This will greatly help you learn to stand your ground and be who you are in this world. Be true to yourself. So at this juncture, I'd like to tell you a story. When I was in college, my first year, I was part of a very interesting project. I had the opportunity to learn a lot of technical things. It was like a dream project for me. But the problem there was me. I was afraid to talk to people. I was afraid to take the initiative. I was afraid to tell my ideas to people because I was afraid of what they would think of me. But one day, the golden opportunity came. I was asked to give a presentation, and I was so nervous. The butterflies and the snakes all of a sudden started crawling around in my stomach, and I was scared. And in that moment, before I raised my hand up, I knew I had 2 choices. One, run away and never return, just like how you hear in Lion King. And number 2, stand your ground and face it, overcome the challenge, and next time you face something like that, it'll be a lot easier. My entire body wanted to go with number 1, but in my heart, I felt like option number 2 was a lot better because it would help me become a better person. And so that day I stood up, I gave the presentation. And that day I realized that no one is allowed to make me feel inferior to who I really am without my permission. And I changed my life around that day. Because of that choice I made that day, I'm here on this stage. So what I would like to share with all of you is, don't give in to peer pressure, don't give in to negative criticism. Constructive criticism is always good because it helps us build ourselves, it enables growth, gives us a growth mindset. Always try to stand apart from the ground than being a part of the crowd. Because being a part of the crowd, it just instills that feeling of inferiority in you again and again. Once you realize that you are an important person in this world, you will be able to soar towards the sun. And every step you take in the direction of self-improvement is never wasted. Each of us has this internal clock. Maybe your clock is running at a slower pace when compared to someone else's. But be happy that your clock is still running. Each of us is different. We have different capabilities, different skills. We do different things. We think in different ways. That's what matters. It's what we do. Our creativity is with us. It comes through us, and we give our creativity to the world. But we're all worried about these things. I'm too tall. I'm too short. Too fat. I'm too thin. I'm dark. I'm fair. But you know something? I'm going to tell you about someone. You know how they say he's a 1 in a million person, or she's a 1 in a million? Well, there is someone who is 1 in 7. He has written 7 best-selling books. He's a world-famous author. He's a huge Australian celebrity. He's a TED talker. He's a scuba diver. He has a beautiful wife and 4 lovely children. Sounds like your ideal man, right? The right amount of everything. Right education, social life, everything. But he is 1 in 7 people in the world who have phycomelia. Phycomelia is a disease where you're born without arms or legs. You're born without limbs. You're only born with a torso and a head. He's Nick Vujicic. Nick Vujicic, at the age of 10, wanted to suicide because he felt that he was not worth it. He felt that he would never amount to anything in life, and he started feeling inferior when compared to everyone else. But at the age of 10, he realized something that I realized a few years ago, that we are supposed to confront our demons and not lock them away, and that we are still a work in progress, and that we are to love each other and everyone else, and love ourselves first. If he, a person with literally half a body, was able to make that decision and do that, why can't we? It is possible for us to do that also. So right now, I challenge you and I implore you. Next time your demons, your complexes come over for tea, invite them in. Invite your complexes, invite your demons in for tea. Have a good conversation with them, talk to them, understand them. Then take that teaspoon and poke them in the eye. Because you are here to confront your demons, not lock them away. You are here to destroy them. And every step you take in that direction is never wasted. So tell yourself time and time again, take that big leap of faith outside of your comfort zone and always believe, why fit in when you can stand out? Thank you.